And boom goes the dynamite. Yainer Diaz goes off today. Jeremy Pena adds with a home run to back up rookie pitcher JP France for a sixth consecutive quality start. The Astros sweep the Rockies and await the arrival of the Mariners. Let's talk about this on tonight's Locked On Astros.
Alvarez hits a high drive center field. Beerling's back. This game is turned upside down. There's the runner. Fly ball down the right field line. Tucker comes on. Kyle Tucker. This time they finish the job.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett Htown Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we're your daily Astros podcast. I'm Htown Wheelhouse. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Htown Wheelhouse. You can find me at Stros411 on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Always positive, always Stros. You can find the show at Locked On Astros on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Become an everydayer. And our co-host, Eric the Man Huysman, is not here right now, but Eric Huysman can be found at Eric Talk Stros on Twitter. Check him out on socials as well. Thank y'all for tuning in to Locked On Astros. We are your team every single day. Let me tell you, today's episode is brought to you by Sleeper. Swing for the fences on Sleeper picks, and you could win up to 100 times your money. Use the promo code Locked On, and Sleeper will match your first deposit up to $100. Predict the hottest baseball stats like home runs, hits, strikeouts, and more. Cash in on your daily fantasy baseball skills. Use a promo code Locked On for Sleeper, and they will match your first deposit up to $100. Wow, what a game. 4 in a row. 4 in a row. This team is hitting its stride. But wait, how could they be hitting their stride? Jose Altuve just went on the IL. Yordan Alvarez still isn't back. Michael Brantley has been halted for 3 or 4 more days. They've shut him down. We'll talk about the injury updates at the end of this show. But look, folks, when you look on paper and what this team has gone through, all points would say, yeah, this team shouldn't be successful. I'm telling you, that series in Arlington probably was a turning point for this team because you have Christian Javier, who's struggling. They still have not named a starter. We'll talk about that here in a second. But I want to get into it. JP France looked excellent today on the mound. Look, he rolled through the first 3 innings, okay? 3 and a third innings. He looked good. They gave up 4 runs. Of those 4 runs that the Astros gave up, 3 of them were credited to JP France. And look, when you go to Baseball Savant and you look at it, he induced 9 swings and misses. He had on the day 4 strikeouts. He did only have 1 walk. He gave up 6 hits and 3 earned runs. Look, no one's done this since Sampson did it back in 06 or 07. Okay, Chris Sampson. He's no longer a major leaguer. I believe he actually runs an AAU group in the Houston area, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's Houston Bengals. I might be wrong about that. But I loved this win. I love this win for more than one reason. But focusing on JP France going 6 innings. Look, when he was in the 4th inning giving up those runs, the question was, why is the bullpen not going? What is Dusty doing? Why is he going to let him? I mean, the game was getting a little close. I'm sorry. We put a 4 spot. I'm looking at this upside down. The 5th inning, they scored 2. The 6th inning, they scored 1. So that was going into the 6th inning. Sorry, I flipped my eyes on this. I was looking at, wait, I was at the game. They scored 4 runs total. So Houston's up 5-0 going into the 5th inning. Then they made it 5-2. Then they made it 5-3. Oh, and the Red Sox won. As we speak live, we get an update from our fans. The Red Sox won. Now we have gained some ground on the Rangers. We are now 2 games back of the Rangers. Excellent. Thank y'all for updating us. We love that. We love when the Rangers lose. But look, France is pretty good, okay? Let me tell you about JP France. JP France in the 1st inning, to McMahon threw a slow curve and then a changeup and struck him out. It's his delivery that gives the appearance that the ball jumps out of his hands to the hitter that keeps them off balance. So when he winds up and throws the ball doesn't come out until the last second, eye-wise for the hitter. That's why JP France is as effective as he is. He doesn't have an invisible ball per se, but the ball coming out of his hand and the delivery is what makes it so effective. His pitch shapes aren't exactly elite, but what he does on the mound, mixing the pitches up, keeping them off balance. I mean, 9 swings and misses is not bad because look, things could have unraveled really quick. 2 runs in the 5th, 1 run in the 6th. It could have gotten way worse, but he did only give up 3 runs on 6 hits. So you love to see that. JP France is the man of the hour. He's the one that helped really save the bullpen. The bullpen came in. We'll talk about that here in a second. But I want to get to something before I get to Diaz. Talk about Chas McCormick, because before the game, and I got permission to use this, so I wanted to share it with y'all. Before the game, Dusty Baker was asked about Chas McCormick. We talked a little bit about the rift that Chandler Rome had reported between Chas and Dusty, and I want to share with you a video that Big Sarge Sports gave us permission to share. So I want y'all to listen to Dusty. We'll talk about this. Then we'll get to the Diaz being catcher versus DH. And then before we go talk about the 4th row, I'll tell you who this episode is brought to you by. So let's listen to Dusty Baker talking about Chas McCormick.
Chas is doing what I always, like we've seen him do. He was out for 20 days. And when he started over again, it was kind of like spring training for him. And so I had to break him in slowly. Some people think I don't like him. I don't know where the hell they get that from. But Chas is a player. And I still got to play Chas on who I think he has the most likely chance of hitting, and that's what I do all the time. I put a guy in a position where he will most likely succeed and against whom and what we need on that particular day. So, you need guys to step up. If you're going to win.
So there he is, Dusty Baker saying, I don't know where y'all got that from. And he looked directly at Chandler Rome in the dugout. Now, that's about where Chandler Rome is. And I don't know if y'all saw Julia Morales' face, but she was like, this is uncomfortable. Look, I'm not saying that Chandler Rome is making things up, and I'm not saying that Dusty Baker is lying, okay? I don't know the true reason of what's going on. We can only go to what is being said. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because we talked about it on the show. I don't know that I know anything about this. And so what I just want to say is hopefully Chas will get more starts. Hopefully Chas will get more opportunities because he is literally hitting the cover off the ball. And so, he still didn't play him in the season opener. That's right, Joe. Dusty versus Rome continues. That is correct. I don't think Dusty Baker is inviting Chandler to a golf match or to his winery anytime soon. But look, I met Chandler in person, and he is a no-bones, all-business guy. He is a reporter. He's not a fan of any team. He just reports the news. And Jeff is asking, can we stop starting Maldi now? I'm glad you mentioned that because right before we get into our second segment, I will talk about this a little bit. And I did take this from a friend of ours, friend of the show, Patrick Crichton. We've actually had him on. He is a local radio host. He does late night hits on the radio here in Houston. And this is going to kind of help set up what I'm talking about with Yainer Diaz getting more time at the backstop position. And I'll tell you this, Yainer Diaz, I have always said deserves more time. The only reason why I've ever complimented or promoted Martin Maldonado as the starter is because the Astros were promoting him as a starter. So I just decided not to fight and shout at the tides, as my friend Sully would say. So just kind of go with it. Look, Martin's our guy. He's the captain. He's the guy. So just kind of left it alone. but the evidence is there. It's really hard to see. You can't see the tree through the woods when you put Yainer Diaz in there. So in this second segment, I want to talk about Yainer Diaz. But before we do, I want to go talk to y'all about Sleeper. Now, let me tell you about Sleeper. Sleeper is this amazing app, and I want you to swing for the fences, maybe for the first time, and you could win 100 times your money. Look, I'll tell you right now, in my Sleeper app, tonight I got going Corbin Carroll and Pete Alonso, both giving them the over on 0.5 home runs. And at $20, I get a 14 times multiplier. That's a pretty good payout when it comes to making these bets. But let me tell you, first-time depositors can receive 100% instant deposit match of $100 using the promo code Locked On. You can win 100 times of payouts. You can place in-game contests, more stat categories, home runs, triples, stolen bases, even more. And it's dynamic because the payouts are live, they're immediate, and it's safe and secure. The withdrawals are fast, and it's currently operational in 30 states, including Texas. So go to sleeper.com/promo/locked on. Use the promo code locked on and get $100 match to your bets. I promise you, Sleeper is a really cool app, and I promise you won't go wrong with it. You have to go check it out. And so just make sure you do that. As well, I need to tell y'all that I'm looking for my banner here. We will hit that here in a second, but thank you all for tuning in. This episode is brought to you by Sleeper. Okay, so Yainer Diaz, catcher versus first base. So I have him catcher and first base versus DH. And I was like, how do I crunch these numbers and show them to y'all? And my friend Patrick Crichton, I'm going to let him know after the show. Of course, you can see it's from his tweet. So I'm not taking credit for his gathering of info, but check this out. Okay. And I will read it for those listeners. His 2 home runs today gave him 10 on the season. No catcher has double-digit home runs in fewer at-bats than he has. Of the 8 catchers with more home runs than Yainer, only 4 have a higher average, 267, than he does. Sean Murphy, Jonah Heim, Will Smith, Adley Rutschman. Only Murphy, Heim, and Smith have a higher OPS of 797 than Diaz. Only Murphy has a higher slugging percentage, 515, than Diaz. Yainer's 41.7% caught stealing percentage is the second best in the American League. Martin Maldonado's caught stealing is 18.4%. The Rockies did not attempt to steal against Diaz today. Look, actually, I thought he caught someone stealing, but I may be wrong. I'm pretty sure he caught, or maybe he did, but look, the bottom line is this. Patrick Crichton makes a great case for Yainer being in there most of the time. And I found some really good quotes. This is what JP France says. JP France says he's just been a great player for us. Speaking of Yainer Diaz. Jeremy Pena, even higher praise, says this. He hits the ball so hard. It's impressive what he is doing. It feels like he hits a homer every other game. And behind the plate, he's been doing it as well. Great player, Jeremy Pena. And then Yainer Diaz about his own self. He says that was right on time. I'm sorry. This was Dusty Baker. He drove in all first 3 runs with some booming home runs, and we needed that. Look, Yainer Diaz really, for all intents and purposes, has done an amazing job. He continues to mash and, continues to just crush the ball whenever he's up there. And I do want to say this. I couldn't find this earlier. The Astros do play the Mariners Thursday at 7:10 p.m. Central Standard Time. Catch every pitch of the Htown Astros broadcast on the SiriusXM app. On the SXM app, search Astros. So what do y'all think? Yainer Diaz? Well, look, don't get too excited. Yainer swings at a lot of garbage. Did you see him today? 2 home runs. Look, give the kid a chance. He is excellent at the plate. He's better than Maldonado. He may chase, but he will get that down in time. I've been saying all along that Diaz needs more time behind the plate than Maldonado. And if this club is as concerned about rest time, as they are with all the other players, Martin Maldonado doesn't seem to play into that equation. Sorry. Between Brown, France, Diaz, Rookie of the Year for the Astros. Oh, wow. That's a great question. JP France, I think, has become one of the best pitchers in our rotation. He stepped up. Hunter Brown. Look, if JP France continues to be a constant flow the way he is, and Brown has his ups and downs, JP France might find his way into the top 10. I don't know. I don't know how that goes. But Diaz, look, Diaz deserves some Rookie of the Year nods for the Astros. Those are all great choices. They may all be 1A, 1B, and 1C, if you know what I mean. And yes, that's right. We are 2 games away from the Rangers. They actually did lose as we were talking. It's great news. Look, objects in mirror may be closer than they appear, Texas Rangers. So 4 in a row. What does that mean? 4 in a row without Jordan. 4 in a row without Altuve on the back end of that. 4 in a row with rookie pitchers. So at the end of the day, you have to look at who's producing, what's going on, and what we're doing, who we're doing it without. There is 4 games in a row. You've got Javier down. You've got all of these starters that are out. And it's just quite simply, you would think, untenable and unattainable to achieve the success that they've achieved. Yes, 2 of the games were against the Rockies, but still, you still have to come home and win. So now you have 4 in a row going into a series where the Mariners are playing better, but they're not playing their best baseball all year. Well, look, Pena, I didn't say anything about Pena's swings. I see his swings. I saw him today. He chases a lot of pitches down, and I understand that. Any chance we get a show with the Locked On Mariners guys? I don't know. We'll talk to them. Maybe we'll do a post-series reaction. I know they aren't very high on the Astros, but Colby and Dane may come on. They're good guys. They may come on. So Jeff G says this. I see it's a no-brainer, Brett. I sort of see the reason with Alvarez being hurt that you want a bat at DH, but still seems you could play Diaz behind the plate and DH Julks or Myers. I don't see any reason why Diaz isn't behind the plate 3 out of 4 games in a series. I don't see why Diaz isn't behind the plate 70 to 80% of the time, to be honest with you. There's no logical reason unless a pitcher says, I want Maldi behind the plate. I mean, that's the only reason why I would give those guys, I would give him more of a shot than he's getting. Maldonado's still the captain of the clubhouse. Maldonado still has starters. Look, but more and more players are coming out about Diaz and saying that he is a guy. And when he's behind the dish, I mean, when Jeremy Pena is endorsing him, players are outright endorsing him. You wondering, at some point, is this going to cause some tension in the clubhouse? I hope not, and I honestly don't think so. I think this clubhouse is above that in this area. Diaz catching gives us the option for Dubon at DH. That's correct. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Now, let's talk about this. There is no named starter for Thursday, okay? We don't know what they're going to do because of the situation with all of the injuries, with Christian Javier probably not going to pitch until the Astros declaring Javier will not start versus the Mariners, and Framber being pushed back. Houston does not have a starter lined out for this Thursday. Now, this is what they would have to do. They would have to put Javier on like the 15-day IL, but they cannot recall Blanco or Dubon because both of them have not served, all right? So if that's the case, then you have to go with someone like Blake Taylor, someone like Matt Gage, Joe Kunal, Spencer Watkins. Some of these guys are all on the 40-man, but there would have to be guys DFA'd to make these moves or trades. Look, they haven't named a starter, and I have no idea who they are going. Htown Dave, I'm not sure. I'm looking through it right now. I'm just not 100% who they're going to go with pitching wise. So, Belak's here, but he's pitched. I mean, all the guys that are up have already done their pitching duties for the week. So it's going to be a bullpen day. Who they have starting, they have not. Okay, so they optioned Parker Mashinsky today. I'm not aware of who they are starting tomorrow. I will try to get that answered as soon as I can. So let me just tell you that this episode is brought to you by Hooters. Hooters makes you happy. Do you have buddies that need a place to hang and watch the Houston Astros continue to dominate the competition from Webster to Katy, from Sugar Land to Pasadena, from Pearland to Humble, from Stafford to Galveston? They are there. TV's everywhere, so you can watch whatever sport you want. Let me tell you, coming up August 24th, you need to know this. Hooters NASA is going to the game on Thursday, August 24th, to the Red Sox game. It's called Ditch Day Bus Trip. The store opens an hour early that day. They will feed you before you leave. Then on the way back, the best part is you get to ditch work and go to the game with the world famous Hooters girls. Who can say they've done that? Stop by Hooters NASA and get your tickets. They will go quick. And there ain't no thing but a chicken wing tailgate on August 5th. Their parking lot events are always a blast. Stop by Hooters NASA and talk to Rosie to get your cook team registered while spots are available. Monday through Friday, they have buy one, get one wings, $9.99 burgers and fries on Tuesday. Wednesday, buy one, get one boneless wings. Thursday, $19.99 wings and Big Daddy bundle. Friday, $19.83 crab legs. Kids eat free on Saturday and Sunday. Come hang out where the guys at Locked On Astros hang out. Tell them that Locked On Astros sent you. Great grub, great brews, and the world famous Hooters girls. Why? Because Hooters makes you happy. And don't forget that the Astros will play the Mariners Thursday, 7:10 p.m. Central Standard Time. Catch every pitch of the Astros hometown broadcast with SiriusXM on the SXM app. Search Astros. Now, we don't know who the starter is Thursday, but there are definitely some injury updates that we need to get to on this edition of Locked On Astros, and we're going to go through that here in a second. We know that they just announced recently that Jose Altuve is getting an MRI done, and so we will know about that more than likely. If you're listening to this on Thursday, they will probably come out with something on Thursday. We will know more then, and then we know that on the injury front, we know that Michael Brantley has been shut down for 3 to 4 days from doing anything baseball related. So that kind of makes it tough on knowing when he'll come back. I know I've told y'all that I am not very confident that he will return. And if he does return, then that will be icing on the cake. I just don't see it. So here are the official words on Jose Altuve. He has left oblique discomfort. They don't believe it's as bad as the first time he got it when he missed 43 games. And so they will know more on Thursday. He's going to be evaluated. And he came in today feeling a lot better. So we don't feel like it's the same type of injury. So that was good news. So there's no rush to rush him back prior to the break. So he probably will not play again before the All-Star break. Framber Valdez, ankle soreness, was scheduled to start Saturday versus the Mariners. He was originally supposed to start this past Sunday, but was skipped with a right ankle injury suffered when he was coming down the dugout steps prior to his June 20th start versus the Mets. The injury was affecting his delivery, leaving balls up in the zone in his start Tuesday in St. Louis when he gave up 4 runs on 8 hits and walked 3 batters. We knew something was going on with him, but we weren't sure. Michael Brantley shut down in rehab for 3 to 4 days. Brantley, who hasn't played in the big league game since June 26, 2022, that's a long time, was shut down for a while to calm his shoulder down. They said again Tuesday, adding that the team was going to give him 3 or 4 days where he wouldn't do anything. The setback is the second this year for Brantley, who nearly returned to the big league action on May 8th following a AAA rehab stint where he got 24 at-bats. He had joined them in Anaheim, was set to be activated in early May, wound up having a setback, getting shut down again. We had a little bit of a setback, some discomfort, but at the end of the day, it's nowhere near like it was before, where we had to shut him down for a couple weeks. So we think 3 to 4 days will let him rest. Yordan Alvarez, he will not come back before the All-Star break. We know that. He's still on the 15-day IL. Obviously, Jose Urquidy, and there is the list. The rest of them we don't need to update on because we know pretty much they're done for the year. We'll be getting back Urquidy, Alvarez, and Altuve. Let's think about this. Jose Abreu is heated up. Kyle Tucker didn't look great today, but he's batting .294. This is the person I'm looking to get hot in the second half. There's one person in this lineup I need to get hot and stay hot. Alex Bregman. Alex Bregman did have the most RBI in June. I'll give him that. But Alex Bregman has got to get that average over 242, 241. He's got to start hitting 270, 280. I need 280 Bregman. Yes, he gets walks. That's great. He does get walks. He's like third in the league, 54 walks. I love Breggy, but he is the guy. Kyle Tucker has heated up. Think about this. Yordan's out. Abreu has heated up. McCormick, when he plays, hits the ball. Yainer Diaz, when he plays catcher or first base, crushes the ball. Jeremy Pena is going to be who he is, a 250 hitter, 260 hitter, but Bregman needs to be hitting 270, 280. That's the bottom line. Breggy bombs in July. I like that. Look, like the 4th of July, right? Breggy bombs for sure. That's right, Dave. And Bregman has been off too. His throwing has been off. It makes you wonder if it's a mental thing, if it's a physical thing. And so, yeah, I just think that Bregman is my guy that I'm looking at in the second half to really take off. And the question then becomes, what will the rookie pitchers continue to do? Will they continue to shove and do what they're doing? And if they do, that's icing on the cake. And who of these rookies or these young arms are going to end up on the postseason roster? Do you put JP France on the postseason roster? Do you put Htown Wheelhouse on the postseason roster? Is Forrest Whitley going to come out at some point around August or September? Do you put him on the postseason roster? There are going to be some definite decisions to be made. Who do they go out and get at the trade deadline? Do they need pitching? Do they need hitting? I mean, look, Joe Blue is putting his icon up like, I don't know. This is a job for those that are paid the really big bucks. But I'm telling you right now, the Houston Astros are set to take on the Mariners in a 4-game set. And we're going to wrap it up with this. We are going up against the Mariners starting pitcher, George Kirby, who's 7-7. He's got a 3.21 ERA, 86 strikeouts, and a 1.04 whip. We don't know who the starter is Thursday. Friday, it appears to be Hunter Brown. Hunter Brown versus Luis Castillo. Hunter Brown has a better record than Luis Castillo. Hunter Brown 6-5 with 3.76 ERA. His last 7 starts, he is 2-4, 4.46 ERA. He's given up 20 earned runs and only 47 strikeouts. Let's see what the opposing pitcher Castillo has done in his last 7 starts. Julio Castillo, in his last 7 starts, has gone 2-4, 3.16 ERA. He's given up 15 runs and 48 strikeouts. So, look, he's about the same place right now. He has not pitched Luis Castillo like what they paid him to be. And then you have Wu, who is 1-1 versus Valdez on the 8th, and that's Saturday. So Framber Valdez, and then your Sunday game, the game before the All-Star break, you have Logan Gilbert versus Brandon Bielak. Look, Logan Gilbert's probably their best pitcher. I think that's maybe the one game that Seattle really threatens. When I say Luis Castillo, I mean Julio Castillo. That's right. Thank you so much, Mike. I appreciate you correcting me on that. Julio Castillo. That's right. Luis Castillo, Julio Castillo, completely different players. So thank y'all for doing that. Brown, Chris is saying this. Brown, Javier, France, and Bielak are going to be gassed. Remember what happened in the 21. Hey. Why you got to bring up the 21 World Series? Come on, Chris. That is not like you. Come on. We can't be talking about that. We've got the trade deadline. Oh, yeah, promos, bobbleheads, shirts, etc. That's right. Look, man, there's a lot of good things going on. I don't have those promos up right now, but I will talk to y'all about what those are for the month of July next episode. All right. So thank y'all for tuning in to Locked On Astros. I'm going to tell you, sorry, I've got my camera set up a little different. I finally got my computer back, but this Astros game that you can catch tomorrow, if you can't watch it, you can listen to it Thursday, 7:10 p.m. Central Standard Time. Catch every pitch of the Astros hometown broadcast with SiriusXM on the SXM app. Search Astros. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I am Htown Wheelhouse, Brett Chancey. This is another edition of Locked On Astros. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Thank y'all for partaking. Sorry if I didn't get up everybody's comments. Oh, I wasn't being sarcastic this time. Okay, sorry. No. I mean Luis Castillo. That is who I was talking about. Hold on. Yeah, Julio Castillo, who is the Luis Castillo is the pitcher. And I'm sorry, okay. See, Mike, you threw me off there, bud. Live on air, but you know what? Like a hot knife through butter, I caught on to it. So thank you so much for keeping me on my toes. Luis Castillo, number 58 for the Seattle Mariners. I don't care who they're throwing at us. We're the Houston Astros. We just ran through the American League leading, not for long, Texas Rangers. So for myself, everybody at Locked On Astros, thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all rock. Thank you so much for making us your team every single day. Thank you for becoming an everydayer. Don't forget, this Friday, 4 o'clock, live podcast from Hooters Pearland. You got to come out. We're giving away tickets. We're giving away Crawford box seats. We're giving away World Series rings, bobbleheads, all kinds of stuff. Stop by and see us. Say hi. We'll actually do 2 live shows, one at 4 and one at 6:30. Stop by. Remember, we're your team every day. Go Stros. Better start Diaz tomorrow, Dusty. Don't be playing with that playing time. And Chaz, you should be our center fielder every day.